Biashara Tuesday is back on air and there's a lot of interactions which are happening on the mtandao. Naona nyote watu mnanisikiza sana. Naona mmeingia pale on Twitter. So let me just mention a few guys. DJ Kingspin tuned in also. Willie Nganga Masharia, who was here before, is watching us all the way from Cape Town. So to go live in Cape Town, South Africa. Shame, brother, that you could not be here with us, but we are happy that you are showing the show to wale wote ambao wako in the richest part of this continent over at Cape Town. Asante sana Willie Nganga Masharia. He is an IT expert and a cyber security pro. So to have a conversation with him. If you missed out on that, especially on how you can keep yourself safe in online spaces, to upload it on YouTube, just type Willie Nganga Masharia KUTV, utaipata pale. Asante sana Willie for tuning in. Ojwang Mariam ameamka na amenitumia first of all tune into the show na amenitumia here on my DMs the People's Daily. I always tell him to give me the front of the People's Daily to compare with what I have. So nitaangalia hiyo headline inasema nini, but asante sana Ojwang Mariam for tuning into the show. Someone else here I see is Shikamaru. Sijui and I watch from where, but I'm tuning into the show. There's also Jovial Smile. Whatever you're tuning in from, thank you for contributing and interacting with us on Twitter. Ikinai Media, pia wako present. Shout out to Ikinai Media. Now, here, we're back on Biashara Tuesday, and I said last week, empowerment is a very big part of this show. Probably the whole conversation about Biashara Tuesday is all on empowerment. We're trying to get you empowered economically, politically, and also socially. How can you improve yourself? How can you make sure that you are advancing ahead as a youth, especially who's watching this show? But if you're not a youth, still stick here. There's more for you. I'm sitting down with Stephen Kibe, who's the founder and chairman of the Youngsters Pioneers Kenya. The Youngsters Pioneers Kenya is an organization which he started to ensure that he does outreach in very many aspects of your life, from the social aspect, as I said, to the political aspect, to even the economic aspect. But I'm going to let him do the talking because he knows better. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And, a little introduction to our viewers to understand what you do at Pioneer Stars, Youngsters. Yeah, Youngsters Pioneer Kenya. And, what has been the journey so far?
So, first of all, is to let my viewer know me. I'm Stephen Kibe. I'm an engineer by profession. That is what I do. I work with Isuzu East Africa, and a founder and chairman of Youngsters Pioneers Kenya. And it's a youth group that we started, not me alone. We started together as young people, just to see how we can bring the young people together, nurture their talents, of course, develop their skills, because we saw there is a gap. Ideally, there are so many opportunities. Our young people have got so much they can be able to do, but unfortunately, if they are not well, if they are not well directed, if they are not well, harnessed the potential energy to kinetic energy, they might not be able to do so much.
Right.
So we came together. We thought it's good that we register it as a self-help group, and see how well can we bring our energy together to see our youths get better opportunities out there. So ideally, it is making sure that we nurture their talent, of course, introduce new skills now. If you look at it nowadays, we've gone to school, we are doing white collar jobs, which is very okay. But now we've neglected the blue collar job, the skills, the plumbing and everything. So now we are trying to see how can we bring our young people together and tell them that if you also do the blue collar job, you can actually make it well in the society. It's
funny because I always try and see what people relate other conversations with when it comes to the careers they pursue. For example, you as an engineer, there you could not even prevent yourself from saying potential energy and kinetic energy. And it's interesting, of course, to hear that. That's a great way to put it. We are trying to get that static energy to energy in motion.
You see, you're an engineer also.
Yes, of course, I have to get that.
Exactly.
As an engineer. So let's try and drop more of those equations in this conversation. Now, you are trying to discover, develop, and nurture
Sure.
the talent that young people have, besides the white-collar jobs, as you've mentioned. And I just read a statistic here that only just less than 10%, only 9% actually, of Kenyans have full-time permanent jobs. And, someone might find themselves in that scenario and like, sina job, sina talent, we were used to such a statement, I don't know, I don't have a talent, me was sina talent. How do you get to maybe notice or develop a talent if you haven't even realized there is one?
So when I was growing up, I, in my high school and my primary school, we used to believe that the only talent is dancing and singing. We didn't know there's so much there's so much that you can be able to do. So we were only limiting ourselves to what we could be able to see. So nowadays there's so much that people can do, and we have to believe, and we have to also, work with the truth that we are all talented in different ways. There are people. They might not be able to dance as well, like I used to think when I was in primary school. But now, when it comes to the skill set, someone anakutengenezea kitu, you see, like masonry, someone who can be able to come up with a very good structure. We used to build the wind shock, easy, those small things when we were in primary. And I'm telling you, there are people who could bring it out very well, at their own level. So it's something that we're not limited to the little things that we see over the social media. There's so much that we can be able to do. And that is exactly what we are doing to our young people. We are trying to tell them, don't limit yourself. There's so much that you can do. Listen to yourself. What exactly do you like doing? And then we accelerate that for you. We bridge the gap. Ideally, if you look at Kenya, like you said, there's so many people who are not employed. But ideally, on the other end, we have to be optimistic. There's so many opportunities that we need to harness. We come together as a youth, and I thank God I've heard that 2023 we're going to have hustler funds, but it cannot be given to an individual. So we need to let the people come together as young people.
Right.
You set your group right, you come up with a way of working, you come up with a project, and then from us, we might not be able to give you the money, but we can connect you to the government. You get the money. And then, of course, now we train you on how you're supposed to handle your project, and have that, we go through together just to make sure that we also bring the expertise to come and train you so that you can be able to, to continue with such projects.
Now that we're already in that conversation, what are some of those major activities that you've been doing at Youngsters Pioneers in this regard?
So Youngsters Pioneers, we've done quite a lot, but of course, it's not enough until, you're able to see, where you want to be. You've really gotten there. So we started, we started being very active since 2019. By then, I was still in campus, with my fellow guys. We need to see, we could always sit down and see what exactly can we do at our level, because we didn't have a lot of finances. So what we used to do is having talent shows. We've had some talent show within our locality. And something I must mention is that, by design, we started from Kiamwangi. It's somewhere in Gatondo South, but not specifically saying that Youngsters Pioneers is for Kiamwangi.
For the people in Gatondo.
Yeah, it's not for the people in Gatondo alone, It's only that charity begins at home. And the moment we had the vision for the people of Kenya, that is the young people, we saw it. Then if we can be able to touch other people from out there, why don't we start from here? We've grown with some people here. They have not seen how much they can be able to do. So we start here. As we grow, Kiambu County, we go to other counties, and now we touch all corners of Kenya. So ideally, what we've been able to do, we've done talent shows. We've also been giving back to the society. In Gatondo South, I'm sorry to say, there are people who are still struggling with jiggers. And it's something that, that's not good at the 21st century.
Right.
So we've been going out there, looking at those families and seeing how we can be able to come and help them. We've partnered with it's Ngenda dispensary, just to make sure that we're able to treat our people just from, jiggers and everything, and of course give back what we can be able to give at our level, in terms of foodstuffs, in terms of clothing and so on. Then, in 2020, when COVID-19 kicked in, this menace of COVID-19, everyone was like, how that inatoka wapi? How do we handle it?
How do we cope?
How do we cope with it now? So what we did as Youngsters Pioneers Kenya, we went back. We said, we might not be the experts, but we know the experts. So we went to some experts. They trained us on how we can be able to educate our people at the village level. I remember by that time I had just graduated from Kenyatta University. So, I was just there, just trying to figure out what should I do. So we came together as the young people. We were trained. We went door to door, just trying to tell our people, it is here with us, and we need to know how we are going to handle it.
We are going to take. Yeah.
So
those are some of those roles actually that the youth can take up in society that they seem to ignore. Being a bridge between your people and knowledge.
Exactly.
Bringing that relevant knowledge they need to know, awareness, and some of the measures they need to take in various social issues. It's really impressive to see that you're doing that as well.
That's it. In fact, if you go to the village and you're from campus, I'm sure you've had that experience. And maybe you're doing economics, na ng'ombe iko na shida, they'll ask you, they'll actually try to ask you, what can we do about it? In campus, they believe that you have a lot of knowledge about the whole thing. So ideally, when you're in campus, you really there's so much that is expected from you. And when you've gone out there from the village and you've learned 1, 2, 3 things, it's always good to come back and try to see how can I change the society.
That's right.
So then we've done tournaments, like I told you, part of our agenda is to nurture talents and skills and abilities. So we've done events, we've done tournaments, and we've partnered with Safaricom. Safaricom came through for us.
Right.
They gave us trophies. We were able to do the first tournament, and then we later partnered with Isuzu East Africa. By the fact that I work with Isuzu East Africa, I talked to them. I told them, I am your employee, and there's something that I do in the background. I've been doing it before I came to Isuzu. So there are young people that we are nurturing, and we can actually be able to, plan for tournaments. You come through, you support. They came through in a very big way. Like Isuzu East Africa, we had a very fantastic game.
Right. I see here.
So it is, ideally, the whole idea was just trying to tell the young people, it is not a must that you get employed. You can do that small thing in a little way, in a big way, and earn fortune from it. So we did a good one, and our people, and our young people were actually impressed, and we are hoping that as much as we are not in the World Cup now, Youngsters Pioneers Kenya will work in hand with the government just to make sure that in a few years to come, we shall be celebrating our team in World Cup.
Sindio?
It's not impossible.
Yeah. And now that FIFA has actually lifted that ban, we should be focusing on.
And then if you look at these countries, they actually nurture their talents of the young people from a very young age.
True.
But now you are 29 and you want to start playing football. Somehow it might not work for you. So ideally, so we are looking forward. Yeah, we are looking forward to see, of course, working with the necessary stakeholders to see how well can we bring the talents of our young people from a very young age, and we're going to see ourselves in World Cup.
Some of the other things you are also having a look at is talking about issues of drug and substance abuse and school dropout cases. How would you say deep is the problem in those two areas I've mentioned?
It's quite a menace from where I come from. Personally, I schooled from I schooled from the place that I come from, in nursery school, in primary school, and in secondary school I went to a day school. And I can tell you, I've had so much interactions with the people around where, my residential home. And our young people, they believe if you didn't get an A and you never got to campus, life is not as good as they call it.
Right.
So probably
You've already been filtered out.
Yeah, you've been filtered out. Yeah, that's the correct thing. So you find most people give up at that level. Maybe they had a C-, they had a D, and they think now, this is done. I need to focus on something else. But that's not the case. There's a bright future. It is luminous. Ideally, there are so many other opportunities out there. And because of this, kind of, mental health, they have been discouraged and everything. The only place they find peace is getting to the drug substance abuse. And, bang and everything, which has really affected quite a number. And so we've had, conversations with them, trying to change how they think, trying to tell them there's so much that you can be able to do.
That's what you're calling the real talks.
We're having real talks. We have real talks. We bring out people who've been in those kind of, they've been addicts before. They didn't reap anything from it, and now they can be able to be a witness to our young people. Tell them that this thing that you bring, this habit that you're creating, it might not be, it will not take you anywhere.
Right.
And then, of course, bring in experts, people, doctors, and everyone who actually understands. What exactly this thing that you're introducing yourself. People think it's fun, but at the end of the day, you will have ruined yourself. You'll have ruined your future and everything. At that, your initial stages, mtu anavuta ya kwanza ya pili, we try as much as possible to protect those who have not started, and of course trying to
also help those who have started.
And it's something that we are bringing forward to the county government now that we've got new leaders. Let us see how we can, have rehabilitation center at a very, not so much expensive.
Yeah, because it's quite pricey.
It's quite expensive. And, bearing in mind where we are coming from and the people who are affected is not the people who are at the top.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the people at the bottom. So probably let's try how the government can come in. There are people who are willing to change, but of course this thing is gradual.
There's a conversation that's happening behind the scenes as we're having this conversation. My team is also having another conversation on education. And we might find a situation where there's someone who's been through it. I know we've mentioned that case of someone who's been filtered out and didn't get into university, right? And they think their life is done. They get into vices, laziness, idleness, drug abuse. But there's also people who've been through university and then after, they've not gotten jobs. And we've just had this discussion with another guest here, and I introduced it. How do you also go about such cases? People, I know you've also been through Kenyatta University. You have friends of yours or people you know who didn't get jobs, didn't get a business, and there's also that as an issue. They feel like they went through the system really well, but now they do not have an opportunity to get jobs. What are some of the opportunities and avenues you feel like they can plug themselves into and that you've seen in the time that you're leading youngsters?
Yeah, one thing I always say, and in fact it's my WhatsApp status, I never stop learning because I believe it's a continuous, it's something that you really need to continue. With every time, and this one, take it to, I don't know which bank you want to take it to, but you want to take it to Central Bank, take it to the bank. Okay. Every time we have events as youngsters, Pioneers Kenya, we've always partnered with Gatondo Technical College. It is a new college that has begun by the government. We have a very good rapport with the leadership there. Ideally, the whole idea is to bring them, come tell our people, the young people, yes, you got a D, but you can do something from certificate level. Because yes, it's okay, you're saying, people do not have jobs. That's true. But now, there are people who've gone to school and yet struggling. But now we are trying to see how can we shift our mentality to, seeing what can you be able to do with your hands. I know it's a conversation that we've had even in the parliament, and people asking, you're telling us to have self-employment. We gave you the employment.
And
It has been, that discussion is neither here nor there. But ideally, there are people also. Yeah, we've given people job in parliament, that's true. And on the other side, there are people, yes, doing well in even the skillful job, in the technical, plumbers, they're doing well. Masons, they're doing well. Yeah, so we're in Kenya, and Kenya is our business. If there are people doing well, we might complain until cows come back home, and others are making fortune out there. They are getting tenders to be able to, plumbing and everything in a big building, wanafanya pamoja. I remember there are people who came, walikuwa naendesha pikipiki. So unajua hiyo ndio imekuwa show ukitoka form 4.
I wanted to say that, but I don't know which side of the heat I will be placed in, because I've also noticed it at home. Once someone is out of high school and they feel like there's nothing more they can do, just get yourself sell a piece of land hapo nje kwenu, get yourself a bike, we engage the border business.
Exactly.
But there's good that can come out of that.
Yeah, there's good that can come out of that. But ideally, border, they're good people. We've had cases right now in Nairobi, cases about, Marvin and so on. But it's a good business, but it's not like the only business. You really need to have, an agenda as you venture into the border business. Like, you need to know, if this is the starting point, I need to get somewhere. Because ideally, it will expose you even in terms of health and so on. So what we are telling our people, yes, you can be in the border business, but ideally, think of investment. We are bringing people, you can even come up with a circle. You can come up with a circle, save your money, start a kind of start a project together, and then you start earning from it. Because in terms of border, I'm telling you, you cannot do it forever. You really need to have a plan for the future. Yes, I'm doing it for 5 years, for 3 years. For what? To start a business that is sustainable.
Right.
So it's a good thing. Yes, it has assisted our young people, but ideally, it's not the only thing.
As you said earlier, of course, it's important that even as opportunities like the Hustler Fund come through, mnajieka pamoja, you organize yourselves to do something besides what you're currently doing, so that once you get these funds, you know how to invest it, what kind of business you can get into, because maybe some of these other white-collar jobs are not something that you can do forever, right?
Yeah.
And now there's also the aspect of leadership, that you also try and get mentorship for the youth and these young people to position themselves correctly in matters of leadership. How can we do that when we've continually been saying government should also include the youth, tunahitajika kwa boardroom, let them include us at the table? How can we bring our seat? Yeah, how can we bring our seat and sit at the table? How can we extend our efforts into leadership as the young people?
Yeah, I think that's also another discussion that has always been there. Sisi ni viongozi wa kesho.
Na kesho haifiki, bro.
Na kesho will never come. Tomorrow will never come. So it's a discussion that have been there before. But ideally, I look at it from this angle. Ideally, we really need to expose our young people in the roles of leadership at those young age. Ideally, because we really need expertise at the end of the day. Because if you're running a company, you cannot run a company at a loss. Yet you are still a youth and we still maintain your position. We cannot do that. So ideally, we really need to build the capacity of our people at their level. We see how can we build the capacity of our young people. Because the moment we have the capacity, yes, we can be given any role and we can handle it perfectly. Because you look at it from this angle, yes, you've been given an opportunity, you've not been able to deliver. Somehow, it has a ripple effect. It's you, one person, you didn't deliver, then it will have a ripple effect to the other youth.
So my generation.
Or sema, Gen Z, they are not able to do anything. Millennium, if you look at it, then I think that is where we are coming in as youngsters. We are trying to bring our people up to speed. We are trying to tell them, you need to learn. You need to get, the right skills for the job. You need to get the right skills, because ideally that has been the conversation. Mimi, I remember the former president saying nyinyi ningewapatia lakini wacha nipatie huyu mzee. Remember that conversation?
So nipe huyu mzee akona.
Because kwa sababu I know atachunga maneno nini, unaelewa. So yeah, we need to clean our, we need to clean up. We need to be equal to the task. And that is where we are coming in as youngsters, pioneers Kenya, to see our people are well trained. We are having conversation. We are bringing expertise, people who've been there before, and trying to learn from them, because we cannot reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
This is something that has been done.
Yeah.
So whatever they have, they transfer that knowledge to us, and then we are given those opportunities, and we can be able to. We've got a member of Youngsters Pioneers Kenya who vied for an MCA seat, although he never got it. I am
that's
sure
a good show.
That was good. I am proud of him. Big up. Oweru.
Shout out to Oweru. You'll get them next time, bro.
Exactly. So ideally,
that's how we can get ourselves, by the way, to
exactly.
Now once we have the knowledge, as you said, we can't reinvent the wheel. We have the knowledge from them. We also have our expertise and our skills. I don't think we could miss out on many of these opportunities.
Today I'm running a show with one young man here.
Yeah.
You went to school, you learned the skills,
right.
And that's why you're here. And you're doing it well. So ideally, if you look at it, you had the skills first, and then the opportunity is given to a young man.
Right, and now now we can come together with Youngsters Pioneer and continue the conversation to the rest.
Exactly. So you have to get the skills first, and then you're given the opportunity, you execute the role, and then you create a very good, it's a stereotype. Like young people, they are always careless. They cannot handle. They cannot do that. The moment you show it the way it's supposed to be done, and you can be able to do it at your young age, then you're creating a very good,
precedence for the rest will come later.
People will come and
So right now you are, I don't know, how many counties are you in so far in Youngsters?
In Youngsters, currently we are still in Kiambu. In fact, there's a project. I'm sure maybe that will come later. There's a very big project that we are doing currently. We've been able to support our young people socially. Ideally is to see how we can be able to support our young people socially, economically, politically. Now we are focusing on the economic bit of it. Yes, we are not there to make profit as a group. We are there to see how do we bridge the gap between, the young person and any other opportunity, either the government, either a non-government organization, any other opportunity that is out there. So we are coming to bridge the gap. There's a very big project that we are running. We want to come up with with a business center. At Isuzu East Africa, there is what we call, we bring parts and then we assemble vehicles from Isuzu. So that casing, we call it CKD. We want to come up. I'm sure you've been to a center where we have the containers. They are well, structured. Some shops here and there, some kinyozis.
The mask containers.
Exactly. So that is the idea that we're having. We've requested Isuzu. They've come through for us. Thank you, Isuzu East Africa. So that's
and you can see some of that on the screen.
Yeah. That's the design. Nice. That's a design that was made by engineer Luda. We work with him at Isuzu East Africa. Big up Luda-san. So you can see we are coming. They are very hard materials. Iso mabati. So we want to come up with that structure, and ideally we want to tell the young people, yes, we came as Isuzu East African Youngsters Pioneers Kenya. We had fun. We had the good game. We talked about you can do it in a small way, whatever you do, and come through in a big way. So you can do the salon. It's not a must. You can do the supu. When you go to our place, there's base, we call it Motura base.
Iyo base.
We call it Motura base. Anytime I get home, I have
Mutura kafirifiri mbali.
Mutura na kafirifiri kidogo. Lakini unfortunately, the guy who handles that kakona alikuwa university, alafu sijui I don't know what happened, akakatalia huko third year. So sijui kama niseme hiyo supu inakuwa imegraduate. But it's something that you can really enjoy. I hope you'll come to Kiamwangi when we have an event.
That's actually a really good joke. I don't know why you want. I don't know why.
So
yes, I'll come try it.
Yeah, you can come try it.
Graduate.
So I'm telling you, and he's doing well.
Yeah.
In
So
that
in a
business.
small way, but
in a
with big
small way, in
impact.
a big way, yeah. So because when you go there, he has maintained cleanliness. So when you go there, huna ile
Uoga
kila hii
inaweza kimbia
maneno
baadaye.
inaweza kimbia baadaye. So salon. We want to start a car wash. Part of the design is to have a car wash.
Also, this is where the business center is going to be.
So we've partnered with the county government. County government to give us a place to put up the structure, and then the young people will be operating from there.
Nice.
So if you want a place, you get, but you have to go through a Youngsters Pioneers Kenya.
Okay.
So it's Isuzu East Africa supporting us, and it's something that we also calling upon other sponsors to come through, just to see, just to see how we can be able to assist our young people. There are people with great business mind. Ukienda kwetu, there's so much piki. So if someone got a stall and started selling spare parts from motorbike spare parts,
they're making a killing.
And then we get 3 people who can be able to train on how they can become mechanics to deal with the,
those are those
mechanics.
hands-on skills that you're saying
skills.
people should be getting.
Motorbikes are there, the spare parts are there. Then we get people who can be able to repair. Huyo mtu hawezi lala njaa.
Kweli.
That's it. So and is an engineer, because the engine working principle, everything is the same.
Yeah.
And now maybe in future we are going to see how we're going to start something to do with starting a garage from Isuzu East Africa, from just the same place, employing other people here and there, getting parts from there at a good price, and seeing the future of our young people from
That's
Kiamongi.
really nice.
And this is something that is going to grow. We want to start projects not only in Kiamongi but across the country. But charity begins at home.
Kabisa.
Exactly.
I'm glad that you've already started that.
Yeah,
Many people. Starting is a very difficult part of this journey, and I'm glad that you're already on your way there. People who want to join now, Youngster Pioneers, and maybe want to reach out, want to be part of the group in one way or another, maybe wako Kiambu. Kama kuna vile wale wenye wako outside of Kiambu wanaweza join, pia unaweza tuambia. This is the chance for you to do a call to action.
Thank you, my people. Youngsters Pioneers Kenya is for the young people, but young at soul. It's not a must for you to be young in, kwa ID. If you want to join us, you can, Facebook, Youngsters Pioneers Kenya, Twitter, Youngsters Pioneers Kenya. You can even, I can give a number.
Sure.
Just in case you want to get in touch for more information, you can actually call 0708 375 547. Let me repeat again, 0708 375 547. Feel free at any time. Join us. We work for the young people. We see how we can be able to bring ideas on the table, because ideas, we convert them. We convert the ideas just to see if you have an idea. Like I said, my biggest motivation is that you never stop learning, and it's only a fool who knows everything. So bring ideas on the table. We see how we can be able to implement them, and we see how we can be able to convert the lives of our young people to, attach them to better opportunities out there.
Superb.
So, yeah.
Caroline Waithera, Asama, keep up, my mentor. You got this, and continue changing lives. We are proud of you. There are people who are proud of you out there, bro.
Oh, Caro,
must be a lucky man.
Thank you.
Yes.
Caro started another, she's a good friend of mine. She started Brighter Society. She had a very good event, and we went there. It was about mental health. Because where I come from, it is very unfortunate. There's a guy who committed suicide, and it pained me a lot, because you could see the guy is okay, but the next minute you hear
he's gone.
So people are struggling out there,
right? Silently.
So it's good. It's a good thing, Caro. Good job. So
right.
Continue doing it.
Shout out, Caro, and thank you for tuning into this show as well. I am happy that you are part of this conversation. That has been a very great discussion on how the youth can plug themselves into various opportunities around them, from to pale mtaani unaangalia tu around, unajua what can I do, hands on nipate kakitu. And Stephen Kibe is doing that and much more as the founder and chairman of the Youngsters Pioneer Kenya in Kiambu, and also, of course, hopefully moving on to other counties across the region. So we are hoping that if you've had this conversation, una reach out to them, alafu mnaweza kusaidiana if you're someone who wants to plug in and contribute and also offer mentorship or financial support. Please make sure you do that. And social media channels, Ziko? Websites?
Website, we're in the...
Physical location? Yeah, you can give all of that, yeah.
So just like I said, it's Youngsters Pioneers Kenya across. If you search, you can get us through social media platforms. You can also be able to give my personal number. You can be able to reach out so that we can see how we can work together. And again, something that I must not forget is that there are people out there willing to work with young people. Yeah, we might not have been there since a long time ago, but we've done something so far. Come through, we see how we can be able to partner and see how we can be able to support our young people. Because the biggest challenge sometimes you've got a very good idea, but now when it comes to implementation is now where the rubber meets the road. So, but now if we can be able to get people of goodwill come through, see how we can be able to partner and see how we can be able to assist our young people, the better. You're welcome. Feel much welcome. We shall be able to do it together.
All right.
Yeah.
Shall we do it together? Shukran, bro.
Thank you.
Great conversation.
Should I shout to my good friends?
Shout out all of them.
My biggest support system, Youngsters Pioneers Kenya. I will not forget Bwana Kanga. There's Kanga, by the way, when I told you we sat together, the first guy I sat with is John Mogo. He's a graduate from Jomo Kenyatta University. So shout out to Kanga. We're doing a good job. He's the SecGen. He's the spokesman of this Youngsters Pioneers Kenya.
Hope to meet him someday.
Exactly. I want to shout out to Diana. She has been of great support. I want to shout out to Massive, Akina Khan. We've got a very good artist from our group. You know where I come from? The current MP, allow me to say that, the current MP,
sure.
The current MP looked around and was requesting for someone to do a song for him. And we have a member who is very talented, anaitwa Khan. Just like any other politician, akauliza hapa na pale, and the best song came from us. And not exactly that. It was ranked second countrywide. Go and search Kagombe song campaign. Kagombe. He did it well. So shout out to him. Akina Koi, all the group members, I shout out to you guys. You've been my biggest support system. I know we are going to go far, and we just began. Now the future is luminous.
Right. Yeah. Future is luminous, and so is Biashara Tuesday. If you've been tuning in from 7 a.m., it's been all illuminating conversations. Come on, miss out. We'll be uploading this on YouTube, KUTV Kenya, so you can check it out. Ujue, what did you miss and what can you gain after you have listened? I'm taking a short break. Alafu narudi na what you guys have been saying. It's 9:45 on my phone here. It's almost time for us to close up the show. But usiende mbali, just leave that remote where it is. If you're streaming on KUTV, YouTube or Facebook, wachana nayo hivo. I'm coming back with more. So you're still on air.